This is a great clip from Redacted coming up with Clayton Morris talking to a guy who's literally watching what's happening on the U.S. southern border. So while the United States, like Canada, is giving billions of dollars, about 10 times as much so as Canada is, to the war in Ukraine, to watch Ukrainians die, to create a bloodbath, to feed the armaments, to feed the munitions manufacturers, he has done nothing, literally nothing, to stop the flood of illegal migrants at the southern border. Let's have a look at if you're not up to the story, if you're not tuned into the story, watch this clip to get a sense of what's actually happening. Because you won't see this in Canada on CBC or CTV. They don't acknowledge there's any southern border crisis in the United States. They never even use the word illegal immigrant. They're just asylum seekers, migrants. But have a look at this.
Track that Doc is watching right now. I followed that train track about an hour down into Mexico, and that's the train actually that that we just saw Anthony Rubin was on, right? Very dangerously, the beast they call it.
Yeah,
that train. Go ahead, sir. Yeah.
No, I was just saying we were in a little bit of a delay here, you and El Salvador, but it was filled, right? I mean, that train is filled with illegal migrants coming across. Is that the same train?
It is. It is. I mean, it looks like India sometimes. I spent a year in India. Sometimes the trains are just covered with people, and that's the way it is now.
Can I ask you this? So we're talking to you on a day when the Biden administration is putting together a coalition of the willing. It sounds familiar, like the invasion of Iraq. 10 countries, Western nations, sending over 30 warships, 30 ships to the Red Sea to make sure that trade can flow, and looks like probably attacking Yemen and attacking Houthi rebels in Yemen. And so we're concerned about international trade in the Red Sea and the Suez Canal. But here we literally have our own train infrastructure, Union Pacific, telling us that 45% of all the cars can't get through. They're having to slow down agricultural products coming in, food and beverages, automotive, consumer goods, industrial commodities, talking metals, cement. We're talking dry food products, beer, grain, held in Midwest states that are being. So this is all being shut down. We're sending 30 ships to the Middle East, and yet international trade on our southern border is being halted. I mean, do you not see the hypocrisy? I mean, I know you see the hypocrisy here, but I'm just absolutely furious about this.
Actually, I mean, I watch your show all the time, by the way. I was just watching it when we were driving 3 hours yesterday through El Salvador. There was actually good signal, believe it or not. Watch it. You're getting it dead on accurate. And that's what's bothersome, because I'm always downrange, and also in Europe and the other parts of the world, watching this. This is not hypocrisy. They are actually trying to destroy the United States. World Economic Forum is crystal clear what they're doing.
I mean, look at that lineup. This is footage you're not going to see in the mainstream media. And look how many of these people appear to be Chinese or from Southeast Asia. And you're always hearing, no, these are all people from Mexico or maybe Honduras. There are people from all over the world, including from China, who are getting into the United States illegally. Many of them, or at least some of them, are terrorists. And a lot of them do not have the best interests of the United States or democracy in mind. So this is shocking footage. Yes, and on and on and on. This is what's happening at the southern border. This is December 20th. It's like a week ago. Yes. This is what the United States is confronting. It's absolutely shocking. And of course, you have a president of the United States who is obviously senile, who's not in control of his faculties, whose cognizance is very, very low, who has stood by and watched this happen. Or perhaps he's just facilitated it because he thinks there's a plan here. And if he thinks the plan is these are all Democratic voters coming across the border, he might either be wrong or these people coming across the border might ultimately so undermine American democracy that they won't be voting for anybody. And that's a harsh and stark reality of what's happening. And of course, Canada has no immigration policy. They're talking about a 500,000 person cap in about 2.5 years. That's still too many per year. But we're not even there yet. And they could change their mind. God forbid if the Liberals stay in office. They could change their mind after the next election. But that's why we need to get rid of the Liberals, because they believe in mass immigration. And we have to convince the Conservative Party as well that mass immigration is not a good idea, because you're not hearing a lot from them on that issue either. Hi, this is David Crayden from Crayden's Right and Stand on Guard. Join the resistance. Resolve to resist. Become a member of this station. I've been practicing journalism in one form or another for over 30 years. I've worked in print, radio, and television for a lot of prestigious publications and media outlets. I was an Armed Forces Public Affairs officer. I worked in Parliament Hill. I know how Ottawa works, and I know how corrupt the federal government can be. But you can play a part in opposing Justin Trudeau's government and Justin Trudeau's plans for Canada. You can become a part of the Crayden's Right resistance. Now, I urge you today, please support this station in any way you can. Ring that bell, subscribe, because that ensures you're at least going to continue to be able to watch these episodes. You'll beat the algorithm. But more importantly, I need your financial support. I hate to ask, but that's what I'm doing. I made a decision to pursue independent media because I believed it was the best possible route for me to take as a journalist and as a concerned citizen of Canada. So you can become a part of that. And at only $5, you can become a part of that on YouTube, on Substack, and with Buy Me a Coffee, a one-time donation. But I need your support. And from the bottom of my heart, I thank you. If you've already done that, if you're already supporting the station, thank you. But if you haven't, make that decision today